Hello and welcome back to Manga Goblin. I'm Trix, of course, and today we're going to look at the final two brutes. But wait, there's more. There is another brute that I missed in I believe it's the Book of Law, and I will include that one there as well. That is an Outlaw brute, so we've got 3 brutes for the price of 2. Let's get started. The first one we're going to look at is the Outlaw brute from the Book of Judgement. The Book of Judgement, sorry I called it the Book of Law, but it really does remind me of that Judge Dredd thing for a while. So, what is the Outlaw brute? Well, you're probably going to be surprised. It is a man of iron, or an iron automata. The men of iron were a sort of robotic sentient race that humanity created, which rebelled against them. This is very Dune, very prequel to Dune inspired. A lot of early GW stuff was heavily influenced by Dune, especially the Navigator houses, especially the Men of Iron, with the whole Machine Crusade wars that are present in the background of Dune. So take that in stride. The Iron Automata is a strange-like machine which is sometimes found in the ash wastes or the gloom of a hive bottom. These are known as Iron Automata, a walking man of metal that can think without brains. Despite the dangers of owning such a machine, the combat potential of an Iron Automata cannot be understated, and when properly tinkered with, they can be found in the employ of criminals who care little for the laws of the Adeptus Mechanicus. An Iron Automata is a brute, and it has access to primary skills: Brawn primary, Combat secondary. Iron Automata, Movement 5, Weapon skill 4+, Ballistic skill 4+, Strength 5, Toughness 5, Wounds 3, Initiative 5+, Attacks 2, Leadership 8, Call 4+, Willpower 8, Intelligence 8. It's armed with a Power Claw and an Assault Cannon. This is the only time you can get an Assault Cannon in this game. The Assault Cannon rules: 12 minimum, 24 maximum, short range +1, long range no bonus, strength 5, AP -1, damage 1, 6+, rapid fire 2, scarce. The Power Claw has the melee power and polarizing effects that you can find elsewhere. Special rules: really glitchy. When an Iron Automata activates roll a d6 on the roll of 1, it gains the insane condition. In addition, if it's taken into action, there's a chance it will break down completely or wander off into the battle zones, mumbling about stupid humans or down with humanity. When an Iron Automata is taken into action before rolling any lasting injuries, roll a d6 on a 1, it is automatically lost and removed from the roster. It has a 3+ save, the Nerves of Steel, and the Fearsome skills, automatically repairs. Basically, on a roll of a d6, on a 6+, it repairs itself. It doesn't have, this is the weird thing about it, right? It does not have a credits cost that I can see at all, as well as the Hypermastiff or anything. Yeah, so there's, and it's apparently, although it's an outlaw in the Outlaw, but basically the Book of Judgement, which details a lot of like underworld things, it's available to any gang, even though earlier on it mentions that you have to be an outlaw to use it, so I'm not sure if they've released an update to the rules here, but you can only have one anyway, so it's a brute. Conclusions for the Man of Iron or the Iron Automata. Assault cannons cannot be understated in Necromunda. It's one of the best weapons. The Power Claw that he has is pretty decent as well. Now, the only way to get this model is to either find it on a Bits website or in Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. Yeah, so would I advise taking it? Well, as I can't see a points cost, I don't know what its points cost is. It doesn't seem to be anywhere at all. It just seems to be included without any kind of cost, so I can't really say if it's good or bad. So if someone has an updated points cost for me, great. Moving on, we're going to look at the good old House of Faith book. House of Faith, of course, is the Cawdor book, or the Cawdor / Redemptionist book. I've made my opinions on this book quite clear. But going forwards from that, let's look at the Brute. Stig Shambler. 280 credits. 280 credits. 300 credits almost. And if you want to give him a heavy flamer, that's the 70 additional credits. So, that's 350 credits if you want the flamer. Has a movement of 4, weapon skill of 4, ballistic skill of 4, strength of 5, toughness 4, wounds 4, initiative 4, attacks 2, leadership 9, call 8, willpower 9, intelligence 8. It's armed with a twin-linked heavy stubber and a heavy club. They're all equipped with flak armor. Its primary skills are brawn, combat secondary, cutting secondary, shooting primary. It's a brute with primary on shooting for Cawdor. Intelligent control. This fighter may immediately roll any failed leadership, call, willpower or intelligence checks. Move and shoot. It may fire an unwieldy weapon as a basic action rather than a double action. However, doing so -1 to hit. It's expensive. Very expensive. Now, it's pretty good because it's quite strong. It's quite tough. It's got the whole reroll thingy for the double twin-linked heavy stubber. It's got flak armor. So, and it's a pretty good walking gun platform. Now, you can arm your leaders and your champions in Cawdor with heavy weapons. Your firebrands can have crossbow, heavy flamer, heavy stubber. Your leaders can have, your Cawdor word keepers can have the same weapons. They can have a heavy stubber, crossbow, or heavy flamer, but they don't have primary shooting, whereas Big Shambler does. But it's expensive. It's worth it, I would say, but if you're going to buy it, don't take lots of redemptionists because you'll be an outlaw gang and money will be scarce. That's my only conclusion on it. It's very expensive, but it does. If you want a melee beat stick, I would rather put up with the Ambot or the Slave Ogren, basically. Both of those are slightly cheaper and better options. The Slave Ogren is, Servitor Ogren is 210 credits, but you aren't going to get the shooting platform. So, it is worth it, but it's a heavy investment. Moving on, we're going to do the last brute, which is of course in the House of Shadow, which is the... Thank you, Mustard. Piscean Spectre, 205 credits, 0 to 2. Only Delaque. Movement 5, weapon skill 3. It's really good at melee. Ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 3, initiative 3, attacks 4, leadership 7, call 6, willpower 6, intelligence 8. Armed with a pair of side magnetic claws, our Piscean Spectres are equipped with light carapace armor. Can be given additional word powers for 30 credits, which I spoke about in my previous video. It can fly, it's a psyker, and specialised in one of the 3 disciplines, Madness, Delusional Darkness, and can select a single power when bought. It can buy additional powers in the campaign by spending 6 XP, or by basically random one for 6 or choosing for 9. Non-sanctioned psyker, that debuff for D3 times 10 credits, has the fearsome skill, brawn secondary, combat secondary, primary ferocity. For Delaque, it's pretty okay. Delaque now in this weird kind of mid-range psionic gang with debuffs, so it's okay for what they do. It's pretty decent in melee as well, so you can debuff and then charge. That would be my idea. I would probably buy it an additional power during the campaign, but not initially. Use it as a melee beat stick, but of course I would take the darkness discipline and constantly cast one of the darkness powers around it, so people have a hard time shooting it. Use it like that. That would be my general idea with this Piscean Spectre. So in conclusion, the best of these 3 is probably the Piscean Spectre, because we don't have credits rules for the Man of Iron. If we have credits rules, he would probably win if he was around the same cost. The Cawdor one is very house flavourful, but it's quite high on its its credit cost. So yeah, so the winner is the Piscean Spectre. And in conclusion, let's talk about the top 5, or the top ones. The top brute is of course the Van Saar one. Then it's a very close call between the Piscean Spectre or the Cawdor Stig Shambler. Now, regardless of the high points cost, what it does is really good. The loader launcher for Orlox is okay. The Grinx Cat for Escher is okay, and the Goliath one it's very gang flavorful, but you can do what it does with other fighters much easier and much better. So only take it if you really want it, in my opinion, on the Goliath one. So that's all the brutes. I will in the Outlaw ones, again, we don't have credits cost for the Man of Iron. So in my other video where I discussed the other Outlaw brutes, you're probably going to want to take the Warp Horror above the others, because that seems to be the best one so far. So that's it. That's the last brute video. In conclusion, until we get a new gang, of course, or that you choose some new brutes. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all for watching, and take care. Bye bye.